This week, AEMO reported they believe nuclear will be more expensive and be too slow to replace the coal stations set to close in 2038. AEMO warns more investment is needed to new generation, storage and transmission to keep the lights on in households. Well, joining me live is Des Houghton, Sky News commentator. Des, thank you very much for joining us. You wrote a couple of articles in today's Courier Mail, one being titled "Why Bill Gates Backs Dutton." So tell us about this story.
Yes, Janie, it's a significant step forward in the story about Peter Dutton seeming to hijack the energy debate. Bill Gates espouses the same pro-nuclear sentiments as Dutton, and he's recently put his money behind safer, smaller nuclear plants. He says will revolutionise how power is generated in America. And Gates has put his money where his mouth is by investing $1 billion in a mob called TerraPower, a startup that's building a plant. And 2 weeks ago, they began work in Wyoming. And he told the crowd there that they were standing on what will soon be the bedrock of America's energy future. And he said it was a bold step forward in safe, abundant nuclear power. He's going to build this power plant at half the price of traditional nuclear plants, and he says it's safer. And of course, there are a lot of lessons here for Australia. He's building plants exactly like the ones Dutton says will work in Australia. And of course, they have great benefits of doing away with ending Labor's need to put 28,000 kilometres of transmission lines through farmland and forests at great damage to the environment. So it's interesting in America, Janie, there's bipartisan support for this. The Republicans actually gave money during the Obama years to support the development of these safer, smaller nuclear reactors, and that's what's happening. So much so, they're so impressed with Gates that the US Department of Energy has tipped in $2 billion and has become a partner in his project. Very interestingly, the site in Wyoming is next door to a coal-fired power station. And Gates says it is going to, that power station will transition to gas, and ultimately it will be powered by, it will be taken over by the TerraPower plant, and all those workers on that coal-fired plant will be retrained to work in the nuclear industry. So that's pretty good news, and America has a plan. Along the way, of course, Janie, both Dutton and Gates and those involved believe we will have to have, a mix of power during the transition, including gas and renewables.
Yeah, it was certainly very interesting seeing what's going overseas and our strong divided opinions here in Australia as well. We've got about a minute left. Des, you also wrote another story in today's Courier Mail on Julian Assange, WikiLeaks founder, returned to Australia a free man. He is a convicted felon after pleading guilty to espionage in a plea deal to secure his release. Your article titled, "We shouldn't forget the harm done by Assange."
No, certainly not. And I'm not going to join the Julian Assange cheer squad. We must remember that when WikiLeaks dumped all this information, they included the names of informants that the Western Allies had in Iraq and Afghanistan. And according to the London Sun 10 years ago, the ISIS and the Taliban got those names and they went around and executed all those people. So I think there's going to be more about this story in coming days. In fact, I'm sure there is. But I have some sympathy for Assange. He was away, he was away for 14 years. However, it was all self-inflicted and he didn't win.
Des Houghton, great to see you, and great reads as always in today's Courier Mail. We'll see you again same time next week. Take care.
All the best, Janie.